Chosen one, you are not here by accident. This moment found you because heaven scheduled it. Something in your spirit has been stirring, pulling, nudging you, because you are standing on the edge of a supernatural financial shift, a divine wealth transfer that has already begun in the unseen realm. And the Spirit of God brought you to this message to prepare you for what's coming. Chosen one, listen closely. When God gets ready to elevate an anointed one, He doesn't announce it to the crowd, He whispers it to the chosen. Just like Proverbs says, "The blessing of the Lord makes rich, and He adds no sorrow to it." But that blessing requires wisdom, discernment, and spiritual protection. Because what's about to hit your life is bigger than money. It's destiny, it's assignment, it's kingdom purpose. You've been hidden, separated, misunderstood, because heaven has been preparing you for a level only the awakened can carry. And now, chosen one, the mantle of wealth, influence, and divine strategy is drawing near. But before God pours out the increase, He must secure your spirit. This message is your confirmation, your preparation, and your prophetic warning. When you rise, you must rise in silence. Chosen one, listen closely, because what I'm about to speak into your spirit is not ordinary wisdom. This is a spiritual transmission, a prophetic unveiling, a divine alignment meant specifically for you in this moment. You may not even realize it fully yet, but heaven has been preparing you for a shift, an internal shift, an energetic shift, a financial shift that will not just change your life, but recalibrate your identity. And before that shift becomes visible in your hands, it must be established in your spirit. That is why heaven has been drawing you into silence, separation, and stillness. Not as punishment, but as preparation. Chosen one. Divine wealth isn't random. Supernatural increase doesn't fall on every heart. It looks for the spirit that is ready. And whether you feel ready or not, heaven has already called you worthy of the next level. But here's the mystery. Wealth doesn't start with money. Wealth begins as frequency. As obedience to a whisper only your soul can hear. I know this because I've lived it. I've felt the shift before I ever saw the blessing. I've experienced seasons where God stripped away noise, people, and distractions, not to break me, but to tune me. You might be living in that season right now, the season where your life feels quieter, your circle feels smaller, your thoughts feel deeper. That's not loneliness, chosen one, that's refinement. That's God resetting your atmosphere so you can hear what the world has been drowning out. Even I had to learn this the hard way. There were times I shared too much, good news, ideas, dreams, and watched the very things I celebrated crumble under the weight of premature exposure. Not because I wasn't ready, but because the blessing was never meant to be broadcast. It was meant to be protected, carried, guarded like seed. Chosen one, when heaven begins elevating you, the attack is rarely against your finances. The attack is against your peace, your clarity, your confidence. Because if the enemy can disrupt your frequency, he can delay your harvest. That's why God is calling you into silence. Not the silence of fear, but the silence of power. The silence where divine strategy is born. The silence where your next level is whispered, not shouted. I know what it feels like to hunger for validation, to want people to understand the changes God is making in you. I know what it feels like to want to share your progress, because for so long you had nothing to show. But chosen one, hear me. Every time you reveal what God is still forming in private, You expose your promise to hands that were never meant to hold it. Divine wealth requires divine discretion. The loud man wants attention, but the quiet one? The quiet one wants freedom, and freedom is the true currency of heaven. As your spiritual frequency rises, you'll start to notice something. The world around you becomes quieter, but your inner world becomes louder. You'll crave simplicity. Peace will feel like luxury. Silence will feel like revelation. You'll begin waking up in the morning without the weight of proving yourself, chasing applause, or performing for acceptance. That shift is not random. That shift is spiritual evidence that abundance is drawing near. You'll start feeling God more in the pauses than in the noise. You'll sense answers forming in the still moments between thoughts. That's the anointing preparing you. That's the Spirit tuning your inner ear. Because divine instruction rarely enters a crowded mind. Chosen one, you are stepping into a dimension where silence is not emptiness, it's authority. And when God raises an anointed one, He often hides them first. Hides them from the eyes that envy. Hides them from the voices that distort. Hides them from the energies that drain. Not to shrink them, but to strengthen them. You are in that strengthening season right now. And this is where the journey begins. Chosen one, as you step deeper into this journey, you're going to notice something sacred shifting inside you. The things that once excited you don't excite you the same way anymore. The things that once distracted you can't hold your attention. You're beginning to crave something quieter, deeper, purer. That is not aging, that is not fatigue, that is not disinterest, that is spiritual evolution. Heaven is transitioning you from survival to stewardship, from hustle to harmony, from noise to knowing. And those who are being prepared for divine wealth always feel this shift before the blessing arrives. I need you to hear this with your spirit, not your ears. Your elevation will require your separation. God cannot reveal the next version of you while you're still tangled in the noise of the old version. This is why people have fallen away without explanation. This is why conversations feel different. This is why your spirit can sense hidden intentions you used to overlook. This is why environments you once tolerated now feel spiritually heavy. Because the chosen one is rising, and not everyone can breathe at the altitude God is taking you. I remember walking through this same spiritual corridor myself. There was a season where everything in my life felt like it was slowing down, shrinking, becoming small. My social circle dissolved. My ambitions felt quiet. Even blessings that should have felt big came wrapped in silence. At first, I thought I was losing momentum, until God revealed the truth. He was not decreasing me, He was concentrating me. He was stripping away the noise so I could finally hear instruction. The blessing wasn't withheld, it was protected. Chosen one, heaven always hides what it intends to elevate. Before the palace, Joseph had a prison. Before the throne, David had a wilderness. Before revelation, Moses had a desert. You are not being delayed, you are being delivered. Delivered from distractions, delivered from premature exposure, delivered from environments that cannot sustain your next level. The divine ones disappear before they rise, not because they are arrogant, but because spiritual clarity requires distance. When too many eyes are watching you, your energy scatters. When too many voices speak into you, your discernment dulls. When too many opinions surround you, the whisper of heaven becomes harder to hear. So, God is pulling you inward, drawing you into sacred solitude, where revelation is clearer and instructions are sharper. Chosen one, silence is not inactivity. Silence is incubation. A seed doesn't grow under applause, it grows underground, hidden, protected, covered. Heaven is doing the same with you. You're not being overlooked, you're being overshadowed. You're not being forgotten, you're being formed. And when the forming is complete, the emergence will be undeniable. But hear this: divine wealth does not come to those who need attention. It comes to those who can carry authority. Heaven will not entrust abundance to a spirit that seeks validation. God gives wealth to those who protect what they're given. That's why He's teaching you the language of silence. Because every time you speak prematurely about what God is birthing, you weaken its vibration. And every time you guard it, nurture it, keep it sacred, its roots grow deeper and its branches grow stronger. Chosen one. This is the season where God teaches you to hear Him in the quiet. This is where your intuition sharpens, your discernment deepens, your spiritual instincts awaken. You'll start recognizing divine timing, sensing invisible instruction, feeling spiritual red flags before your mind understands why. This is the mark of someone being prepared for supernatural promotion. Chosen one, as you move deeper into this divine unfolding, something extraordinary begins to happen. The silence that once felt uncomfortable now feels like home. The stillness that once felt foreign now feels sacred. You begin to realize that what God is doing in you is not small, not ordinary, and not meant for everyone's eyes. Heaven is crafting a life for you that requires a different level of spiritual management. And with that comes a new understanding of wealth, energy, and divine flow. Chosen one. True wealth is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not need announcements. True wealth walks softly because its authority is already established. I learned this when God shifted me into a season where my blessings began to multiply quietly. Opportunities opened without noise. Resources flowed without explanation. People showed up at the exact moment I needed them, not because I sought them, but because my spirit was aligned. And the more aligned I became, the quieter everything around me grew. That's when I understood. Prosperity has a frequency, and only those who protect their peace can hold it. Money is not just currency, it's energy. It gravitates toward order, towards clarity, towards purpose. When your inner world is chaotic, the blessing slips through your fingers. But when your spirit is calm, grounded, and surrendered, abundance finds its way to you effortlessly. Chosen one, this is why heaven restricts your circle in this season. Not everyone can handle the vibration you're stepping into. Some people drain your energy, some distort your vision, some subtly compete with you without ever saying a word. And when God is preparing to entrust you with divine wealth, He must remove every voice that creates static in your spirit. This is not rejection. This is protection. I know the pain of watching relationships fade. I know the sting of feeling misunderstood. There was a time when losing people made me feel like I was doing something wrong, until God whispered, "Peace cannot grow where noise remains." That one sentence reshaped my entire path. I stopped fighting for connections that were draining me. I stopped explaining myself to those committed to misunderstanding me. I stopped proving my worth to people who couldn't see my destiny. And in that surrender, everything began to accelerate. Chosen one, the real test of divine wealth is not earning money. It is staying spiritually aligned while money finds you. Anyone can hustle, anyone can grind, but few can remain centered, pure-hearted, and obedient when abundance appears. That's why heaven is teaching you self-control now. That's why he's developing discipline in private. Because when the blessing shows up, you must already be someone who can handle it. This is also why God is prompting you to speak less. Not because you're timid, but because your next level requires privacy. Every time you reveal your plans prematurely, you expose divine strategy to earthly interference. Every time you explain what God is doing in you, you dilute the spiritual potency of the instruction. Chosen ones don't announce. They move, they flow, they align, and the results speak for them. Chosen one, understand this. Silence is not emptiness. It is altitude. The higher you climb, the thinner the air, and the fewer the voices that can survive up there. You're learning to breathe in a realm not everyone can access. That's why you feel different. That's why you see differently. That's why noise irritates you now. Your spirit is growing wings. You're stepping into a dimension where your decisions are divinely guided, where your timing is spiritually orchestrated, where your intuition becomes your most valuable currency. You'll make choices that others won't understand, but heaven will confirm. You'll take steps that defy logic, yet open doors no human hand could have unlocked. Chosen one, this is the transformation heaven has been preparing you for. You are being shaped into someone who doesn't chase wealth, but someone wealth is drawn to. And soon, you will begin to understand, the quieter your life becomes, the louder heaven speaks. This silence is not an absence. It is an anointing. It is the womb of your next level. Chosen one, as you continue walking through this sacred transformation, something profound begins to dawn on you. Heaven is not just blessing you. Heaven is positioning you. This shift you're feeling is not emotional, not psychological, and not circumstantial. It is spiritual. It is the unmistakable pull of divine timing drawing you into alignment with your next assignment. And when heaven prepares an anointed one for promotion, the preparation always happens in the invisible before it manifests in the visible. Chosen one, you're beginning to see this in your own life. You've noticed your intuition sharpening. You sense things before they happen. You feel spiritual warnings before anything goes wrong. You recognize divine opportunities before they even look like opportunities. This isn't coincidence. This is calibration. Heaven is syncing your spirit with your destiny, tuning you to the frequency of abundance and revelation. I've walked through this exact spiritual refinement. There was a season when I felt like God had turned down the volume of the world just so I could hear Him better. I stopped craving noise. I stopped needing attention. The things that used to impress me began to feel empty. Luxury without peace felt hollow. Success without God felt like sand slipping through my fingers. And in that quiet reorientation, God whispered to my spirit, "This is what wealth truly feels like. Not loud, not flashy, but steady, anchored, untouchable." Chosen one, heaven is doing the same within you. The calm you're experiencing is not apathy, it's mastery. The silence around you is not stagnation, it's saturation. God is filling you with instruction, wisdom, and insight, and He cannot pour into a spirit that is crowded with noise. That's why people are drifting. That's why old habits feel uncomfortable. That's why your spirit rejects certain conversations, environments, and energies. It's because you're being elevated. But understand this: elevation requires discipline. What God is placing in your hands comes with responsibility. Divine wealth is not meant to inflate your ego. It's meant to expand your purpose. It's meant to give you influence, access, freedom, and authority to carry out your kingdom assignment. And because of that, God must first refine your character, your motives, and your discernment. Chosen one. The reason heaven teaches you to move in silence is because not everyone surrounding you loves you, and not everyone who loves you can handle your blessing. Some people celebrate you until you rise higher than their comfort zone. Some support you until your success threatens their insecurity. Others simply cannot spiritually comprehend what God is doing in your life, and their disbelief becomes a hindrance to your faith. This is why Jesus performed many miracles in private. This is why divine revelation often arrives in secrecy. And this is why your wealth, financial, spiritual, emotional, and energetic, will always grow fastest when hidden. Privacy is your shield. Silence is your weapon. Discernment is your compass. I remember a moment when I shared a divine idea too soon. The moment the words left my mouth, I felt the spiritual shift. Energy drained, momentum slowed, clarity faded. Not because the idea was wrong, but because the timing was. Heaven corrected me through loss, teaching me that anything spoken too early loses its power, and anything protected grows with supernatural strength. Chosen one. Heaven is teaching you mastery over your mouth. The less you speak, the more you see. The less you reveal, the more God reveals to you. The less you depend on validation, the more heaven trusts you with revelation. You are being shaped into someone who doesn't just possess wealth, you steward it with wisdom, humility, and precision. And when you truly understand this, chosen one, you begin to realize that divine elevation is not loud, it is subtle, it is sacred, it is strategic. You rise not by noise, but by knowing. Not by speaking, but by sensing. Not by announcing, but by aligning. This is the realm heaven is ushering you into, and this is where your true power begins to emerge. Chosen one, as you step into this final stretch of the message, I need you to understand something deeply, something heaven has been whispering to your spirit. You were never meant to manage ordinary blessings. You were designed for divine ones. And divine blessings do not move through crowded spaces. They move through vessels that are disciplined, discerning, and aligned with God's timing. Everything you've walked through, the silence, the separation, the shifting, has been God preparing you for a level of increase that requires maturity and spiritual grounding. You cannot rise like everyone else, because you are not like everyone else. You carry a different assignment, a different anointing, and with that comes the sacred responsibility of guarding your atmosphere and protecting your destiny. Now you see that wealth is not simply money, but stewardship, influence, clarity, and wholeness. The ability to walk into a room without speaking and still shift the spiritual temperature. That is the kind of wealth heaven is shaping within you. Every season of lack, every delay, every closed door taught you wisdom, purified your motives, sharpened your discernment, and trained you to value peace over applause and alignment over attention. That is why heaven can trust you now. The next dimension of wealth cannot sit in a prideful heart or flow through a chaotic spirit. God needed you to master the law of silence, because what grows in private becomes unshakable in public. And now you are ready for doors that open without effort, opportunities that align perfectly, resources that find you, connections that feel divinely orchestrated, and blessings too precise to be coincidence. But when you rise, and you will rise, do it quietly, not because you are hiding, but because what you carry is holy. Your next level will not require the crowd's validation. Divine wealth manifests in those who carry peace, humility, and discernment. That's why heaven pruned you. why God separated you, why your spirit outgrew the noise. You are stepping into a realm where your presence becomes prophecy, your peace becomes power, and your silence becomes strategy. And when the blessing arrives, when the wealth finds you, remember this: keep your elevation sacred, keep your blessings protected, move in silence, and let God make the noise. Chosen one, as we come to the close of this message, I need you to breathe this in with your spirit. You are standing in a divine moment. This is not ordinary time. This is Kairos time, sacred time, the exact moment heaven has aligned for your rise. What God is preparing for you is already in motion. The supernatural transfer, the quiet elevation, the hidden promotion, it has already begun. Anointed one, you are not waiting for breakthrough, you are walking into it. Every shift you've felt, every whisper in your spirit, every moment of isolation has been heaven, positioning you for what only a surrendered vessel can carry. And now, may you walk forward clothed in wisdom, wrapped in discernment, and anchored in the peace that comes from knowing God Himself has entrusted you with abundance. Chosen one, may the blessing meet you quietly. May the doors open effortlessly. May the right people recognize you without you ever needing to announce yourself. May your spirit stay aligned, your steps stay guided, and your life overflow with the calm authority that only divine wealth can bring. As you move in silence, may heaven speak loudly on your behalf. If this word resonated with your spirit, share your confirmation in the comments so this prophetic atmosphere continues to expand. And if you feel led, stay connected. This journey is not one you're meant to walk alone. Go in peace, chosen one. Go in power, anointed one. Your season has already begun.